ever since One Piece came back after the 6 months of pause, the animation has been absolutely amazing. And I'm here to review the latest episode, One Piece 1128. And basically, ever since the coming back of One Piece, every episode has been an absolute treat that I enjoy every Sunday night. And basically in this episode, just like in any other episode, we had a lot of stuff happening. And I went back and I checked on the manga compared to the anime, and I can basically say that they adapted a full chapter into a full episode and a full anime episode, which is perfectly fine, because back in the day they used to actually do like 1.5 chapters to 2 chapters per anime episode, and that allowed in a way the anime to go a little bit faster. But basically in this episode we had a lot going on, and somebody very special finally showing up into the anime. And I always said as soon as that character is gonna show up in the anime, animation is gonna be amazing, and that's what exactly it was. But basically from the beginning we have Luffy versus Kizaru, the fight that's still going on. And basically from the last episode where Luffy took Kizaru and freaking threw him so freaking far, at the end he was able to come back because of his light powers, you know. Now we're actually getting the full fight in between the two of them, until one of them actually faints, you know, or something like that. And from that fight we can also see that both of them are fighting their hardest in a way, and we can also judge the powers, like the powers that they both have and where each one of them is basically. And from perspective and from what I could take, Luffy is stronger than Kizaru. Kizaru, yes, he might not be trying his hardest, you know, in a way, but still, like the attacks that he got against Luffy were pretty strong. So I'm pretty sure that it must be pretty close to his strongest. But still, like versus Luffy, if Luffy is still having so much fun and he's just discovering his newest powers, I'm telling you, you give Luffy one more year or one more training in Elbaf and no one will be actually able to confront him in a way. Basically, if you are Admiral or less, you don't stand a chance, because at the end of that fight, just like I always say, yes, Luffy is using Haki when he is into his gear 5th, but not so much, because when you use Haki, your arm or your leg or your body or whatever you're using turns into a black color, you know. So basically in the last episode we saw that Luffy actually used a little bit of Haki in his hand so that he can hit Kizaru while in gear 5th. And that's how Kizaru, literally right before the shot, he was like, oh no, I'm screwed, and bam, he got one-shotted so hard he went to the ground. It was a KO for Kizaru. Yeah, as soon as he hit him with some real Haki, that's it. Kizaru was on the ground and he was like, oh yeah, that actually really hurts right now. And right at the same time we get another shot of Sanji, and that's with Vegapunk and Jinbei in their little bubble transportation vehicle, I believe, that's literally running on the clouds, which is amazing, but still like crazy. And in that bubble we see that they are looking for Bonnie, and Bonnie is all the way down with all the pacifistas and the Marines, and they're actually looking to come and get her to save her. And from that scene we get Sanji's Haki, his observation Haki, which is absolutely amazing. Why? Because it just can't track women. No men allowed, but the women, he will track all the women, like in the island where he's at. And it's pretty amazing to see his power working that way. And I think that we didn't see that in the manga that way. So that's why I think that the anime did Sanji really good on this episode. Thank God. And basically Sanji was able to discover where Bonnie was, and he flew to her rescue. And as soon as literally Bonnie was in danger of really something bad happening, boom, Sanji came and saved Bonnie, because Bonnie was kind of shocked. She was in front of a pacifista that looked like her dad, you know, And just from that, she was traumatized and she couldn't even move, you know, which I totally understand. And that's why Sanji literally came at the perfect time to save her. And from there, we're also moving on to Zoro that still fights Rob Lucci. And he's telling Rob Lucci, you ain't that strong anymore compared to, you know, Luffy or even Zoro or even maybe Sanji. He can't win no more. He doesn't have that much power or that much leverage on anyone anymore. And basically Zoro is just toying with Rob Lucci because you'll see by the end he will get spoilers, but Zoro will get serious. But when Zoro gets serious, you don't want to see that, especially Rob Lucci. He's gonna get traumatized from the Straw Hats at the end, I am telling you. But by the end, it's gonna be Jinbei that's gonna come and pick up Zoro, telling him, yeah, stop towing around. We have to, really have to go and get out of here because the situation is really in danger. And that's when he's gonna be like, and after all of that craziness, we finally get to the final moment of the episode. And we get a shot of the Gorosei Saint Saturn in one of the marine ships. And he's literally just thinking over there, sitting and sipping on his wine or whatever until the moment where he's had enough. And he gets up, finally. And after he got up, you can see like a pentagram on the ground. And he actually gets teleported into Egghead. And he gets teleported in his like true form or something, because literally he looks like a devil. He looks like the spider from hell, I am telling you. And as soon as he showed up, everybody actually noticed his presence. Luffy, Zoro, all of the strongest people on Egghead actually felt how strong that presence, that animal presence, you know, in a way. And as soon as he got there, Bonnie actually turned. And as soon as she saw his face, Bonnie started actually running, took a knife from somewhere, and went to actually stab Saint Saturn. Why? You will understand probably in the next episodes. But spoiler alert, you know. I'm letting you know. She discovered from the bubble that Kuma left that it was actually Saint Saturn that ordered whatever happened to Kuma, which means transforming him into a complete cyborg, a robot with no conscience absolutely whatsoever. And from that trauma, Bonnie could not take it whatsoever, and she literally just went in for the kill. She wanted to stab him and kill him so bad. And at the end, we could see also that he started bleeding. And boom, as he starts bleeding and all of that, to be continued. I hate that to be continued. Throughout almost 20 years of watching One Piece, I've hated that to be continued page at the end of every episode, every goddamn episode. But thank God, I'm also reading the manga, so at least I know a little bit of what's going on later. So at least I can take care of the cravings that I have towards One Piece, you know. But on that note, this episode was absolutely amazing to watch. The animation, just like I said, was absolutely amazing from A to Z, from the beginning to the end of the episode. And hopefully it continues like that throughout all of the episodes of One Piece that are going to be coming out soon. I would be here to let you know on how some of the episodes are going to be going. I'm not going to be doing reviews on all of the episodes because it's going to be a little too much, you know. But I will let you know, guys. And on that note, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Is very important because I just created this new channel. So please like and subscribe and comment down below. Which Vegapunk do you think is going to be going with the Straw Hats in the next episode? Let me know. Peace.